Kids love parents that do this. In the case of your death or disability, will your kids know what to do? I'm going to tell you right now, they'll thank you more if you take care of all that for them before you die. So let's talk about it. What if I don't like thinking about dying?
Well, a lot of people don't like thinking about dying. And so I had a client that used to call me her death lawyer until we did a bunch of the planning and we got through it. And then she was able to transform my name into her life lawyer. And the reason that she calls me the life lawyer is because by getting things planned ahead of time, you can have this peace of mind. And what the peace of mind allows you to do is to live your life. And therefore, you don't have to worry about, are things in order? Have I misplaced things? Are things still left undone? But by doing this stuff proactively, what you're able to do is just live your life. So instead of thinking of it as a plan for in case of the death, think of it as a plan so that I can live my life.
I love, girl, I love that, y'all, because I'm going to tell you, everybody has that in the back of their mind. Like, it's not about if I die, it's about when. And we do have in the back of our minds, like, I need to be ready for this, or, man, I know I need to get that will done. I know I need to get that. And we keep waiting and waiting and waiting, and the kids are getting older. And it's never happening. We are here to provoke you to move. Do it, do it, do it. The Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. So these are just another way to show that you're being organized and prepared and that you truly love the ones you say are your loved ones. What is an estate?
So what an estate is, it's all of your assets, whether it's financial, non-financial. And the most common example is everyone thinks about your car, your house, your bank accounts. All of these things are your estate. They're property that needs to be transferred. But what people tend to forget are some of the things that you said in your last segment, which is, what about the non-financial things? What about the stuff in the house? So a common example that I always talk to my prospective clients and current clients about is there are two types of stuff when a person dies. There's special stuff and junk. It's mostly junk to the person that has to deal with it when a death occurs. But there are things that are special, like who gets your wedding rings, the wedding bands. In my family, my mother is a cook. And so I want the cookbooks. My sister thinks she wants the cookbooks. But once we had our family meeting, we figured out that I really want the books. She just wants the recipes. And so I'm happy to make copies.
We can give her the recipes.
Yeah, I can give you those recipes.
Well, I've already asked my mother for her jewelry.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not trying to kill you, Mom, but I want it.
That's a big one.
I want the whole thing.
That's a big one. One of my cousins, for instance, we were out of town, and my mother was like, "Oh, you love turquoise, so I'm going to leave you this necklace." So I said, "Over my dead body, I'm your estate planning attorney, and I'm not leaving her that asset. I want that. I want any jewelry that is left that my sister and I can't otherwise agree on, or at least she doesn't care who gets it. I'd rather keep those assets in my possession rather than give them to other relatives." So it's very important that you have those conversations ahead of time about even the non-financial assets, because the sentimental stuff is usually where all the family arguments break out over and disagreements. And then next thing you know, you're not speaking to people for years over things that are pretty insignificant that could have been handled ahead of time.
That's great. So what happens if I don't plan my estate? Okay, let's say for instance myself. Say for instance I died, and what will happen to my family if I don't plan this estate?
Well, if you don't do it, then the problem is your family will do it. So someone's got to do the work. The problem is most people think that when a death occurs, there's not much work to do. And on the other flip side of that, most people actually experience having to do the work for someone else, but then they never do the work for themselves. So it's like you're never learning from prior mistakes or prior struggles to get things transferred. And so by not doing anything, you're really just passing the buck to the next generation. And 9 times out of 10, they don't know where your stuff is. They don't know where you bank, where you house all of your investments, where your car loan or your home loan is. And so because of that, they're left to handle things that if you would just do it ahead of time, that heartache and pain that they experience when a death occurs, they can at least naturally grieve rather than try to grieve and do work.
Wow. This has been JGT with my guest, Jennifer Norton of Norton Estates. We will see you lambs later. Bye-bye.
See ya.